meet our hero, Charlie. At the beginning of our story, we see this young boy who is an orphan. He carries a heavy heart, constantly missing his parents and feeling deeply lonely. His mother had been incredibly affectionate and kind, always taking the best care. Because Charlie struggled to fit in or connect with anyone in his surroundings, his grandmother decided to bring him to her home. This is where our main protagonist's journey truly begins. One day, his grandmother said to him, "I've brought a pet mouse for you, Charlie. Play with him, become friends, and you can even share all your secrets with him." Charlie was thrilled. He spent most of his time with his new tiny companion, often telling his grandmother, "Grandma, mice lead such fun lives. They just jump around and play inside their cages all day." But while Charlie was playing in his room, a mysterious woman, a witch, was watching him in the shadows outside. There was an unsettling look in her. Around this time, his grandmother's health began to decline, though she eventually recovered. Once she felt better, "Come on, Charlie, let's head out." They went to a shop, and for a brief moment, Charlie wandered a little distance away from his grandmother. Suddenly, a woman approached him. It was the same magical witch who had been lurking. She began offering Charlie chocolates, whispering, "Come here, sweet child," trying to lure him in like a dark spell. She even had a mysterious snake slithering beside her. Just then, his grandmother called out to him because it was time to leave. Hearing her voice, Charlie snapped out of it and ran back to her. In an instant, the witch vanished in air. As soon as they got home, Charlie told his grandmother, "Grandma, that woman at the shop was acting so strange. She was trying to force me to take chocolates and kept saying, 'Listen to me.' She even had a snake with her." His grandmother looked at him gravely and said, "My dear, she was a witch. Why do we always tell you never to eat anything from a stranger? It could be laced with something dangerous. More importantly, why would you ever want to take anything from a witch? She's only trying to trap you," she continued. "Let me tell you a story from my own childhood. When I was about 10 years old, I was walking somewhere with a friend. Suddenly, my friend vanished. Then I saw a strange woman offering her chocolates. She wasn't just any witch, she could control people. I grabbed my friend and we ran away as fast as we could. But the next day, while my mother was combing my hair, that same friend turned into a chicken right before my eyes. The witch had cursed her. It's possible she had already eaten that chocolate, and that's what caused it. This is why I've stayed away from witches since I was a child. You must stay away from them too. Never take anything. If anyone approaches you, tell me immediately." Grandmother added, "Charlie, we must leave this place very soon. Our home has caught the end of the witches, and they usually people first." Near their house, there was a hotel where grandmother worked as the head. She had a good relationship with the hotel manager and asked him to the manager was a kind man, and grandmother and Charlie, they had the freedom to go wherever, but strange things began to happen. It turned out that a group of witches was entering the hotel for a meeting, followed by a grand... All the witches arrived dressed in incredibly stylish outfits. They met with the hotel manager, who was waiting for them. They demanded, "You know who we are. Prepare a hall for our meeting immediately." Their plan was sinister. They intended to kidnap all the children. If that failed, they would give them chocolates laced with a special magical formula. One bite of this chocolate, and any child would transform into an animal. In their eyes, children were pests who had no right to exist in this. The witches declared, "Our time is short. We won't waste time searching for individual children. We will target them all at once." As night fell, Charlie was talking to his grandmother while a heavy rain lashed against. Charlie asked, "Grandma, what do witches actually look like?" His grandmother explained, "They have long, bony fingers. Their nails are always filthy, so they constantly wear gloves. They are completely bald, which is why they hide behind wigs or large hats." Hearing this, Charlie felt a shiver of fear as the storm outside grew more intense. The next morning, feeling a bit down, Charlie went to the large ballroom to play with his pet mouse. Suddenly, the witches began to gather in the hall one by one. Terrified, Charlie scrambled to find a place to hide. The Grand High Witch began to catch the scent of a human. She sniffed the air aggressively, trying to track him down, but couldn't find him. The meeting commenced. As the witches sat in their chairs, the Grand High Witch stood before them, holding up a mysterious potion. "This is the magical formula," she announced. "Just one drop of this in a candy or chocolate, and a child will instantly turn into an..." As she explained the details, she caught Charlie's scent again. Her face twisted into a terrifying and grotesque expression as she sniffed around the tables. She violently shoved a table aside to search underneath, but found no one. Then, she spotted Charlie peering through a ventilator window behind the table. She was about to grab him when a young, chubby boy, the son of a hotel guest, strolled into the room. The witches surrounded him immediately. Seeing the boy's immense love for food, the witches knew he would be an easy... They handed him a chocolate already poisoned with the magic formula. As soon as he ate it, the boy transformed into a tiny... The sight of the mouse actually startled the witches. They were about to crush him with their high-heeled shoes when Charlie's pet mouse grabbed the boy-turned mouse by the tail and pulled him toward the ventilator. But in the chaos, Charlie made a mistake and was spotted. The witches snatched him up and poured a single drop of the magical liquid into his ear. Within seconds, Charlie also transformed into a mouse. The chubby boy turned mouse, and Charlie scrambled to make their escape. accompanied by Charlie's original pet mouse. It was then revealed that the pet mouse was actually a little girl who had been transformed by the witches long ago, after eating their cursed chocolate. Bound by their shared fate, the three of them formed a deep bond and made a solemn, "We will make these witches pay for what they've done." Charlie rushed to his grandmother and cried out, "Grandma, those witches, they've turned us all into mice." His grandmother's eyes filled with "Who will stop these monsters if not us? They've turned my grandson into a rodent, and I will not let them get away with this." Charlie then pointed out to Grandma, the roof of the room where the witches is visible right from a brilliant plan formed in grandmother. "I am knitting a long sock. I'll hide you inside it, pull you down. You can sneak into their room, steal that magical form, and then I'll find a way to turn you back in." Following the plan, she tucked the sock, fully lowered him. Charlie was terrified, but luckily the room was empty. He quickly grabbed the potion and climbed back into it. However, just as grandmother was pulling the sock back up, a witch spotted. She grabbed the sock for her voice booming, "What is going on here?" Grandmother kept her replied, "Let go! I was knitting and it accidentally slipped and I'm just pulling it back up." Before the witch could inspect the sock, the hotel manager suddenly, the witch was forced to. Grandmother successfully pulled the liquid up to. She poured the glowing liquid and carefully, one by one, hoping, but to their horror, the formula was designed only to turn. It lacked the power to turn back into humans. Charlie said sadly, "Grandma, we can never be the same as before." Suddenly, an idea popped into Charlie's mind. He said, "Grandma, why don't we mix this magic potion into the witch's soup? They'll eat it soon anyway." Grandma was surprised and said, "Wow, kids, that's a brilliant idea." Then she, along with the three mice, hid them in a bag and headed towards the kitchen. Right there, the soup was being prepared for the witches. Charlie secretly poured the magical potion into the soup. Just then, the hotel manager asked Grandma, "Are these mice yours? If they're pets, they shouldn't be brought into the kitchen." Grandma got angry and said, "These aren't my mice." The manager checked thoroughly, but Grandma couldn't find any mice in the bag or anywhere in her room. Embarrassed, the manager Grandma roared, "I'm going to file a complaint against you. You cannot search like this without reason. You could get the entire hotel shut down." The manager, frightened, said, "Oh, madam, please calm down. I'll give you your meal. It was a mistake. Please forgive me." Grandma calmed down and started eating. Meanwhile, it was time for the witch's meal. As they took a sip of the soup, in an instant, all the witches turned into mice. Grandma was delighted to see this scene. The hotel staff, seeing the witches transformed into mice, laughed and started chasing them. But unfortunately, the Grand High Witch hadn't eaten yet, so she didn't turn into a. She ran towards Grandma at the mute to attack her. Then, the three mice cleverly set a trap together. They trapped the witch's finger in the. When the witch tried to, Charlie poured the magical. She also turned into a giant mouse, and they trapped her in a. Afterwards, Grandma placed a cat in front of the. Now she was very happy. She put the three mice back in her bag and left the hotel. Because now there was no danger, Grandma could finally live peacefully in her. Outside, the fat boy's parents were very worried. "Where is our son?" But his mother was very cruel. She never showed love to her own. When her son spoke in a mouse voice, she trembled in fear and said, "Keep this in your pocket. I can't even think about taking it." Then, Grandma took the three mice with her and gave them food. The three mice enjoyed their new life and new friends. Grandma took care of them. The funny thing was, the three mice never wanted to become humans again. They ran, jumped, played, and had fun. And Grandma watched them with great joy. Thus, the story ended on a happy and cheerful note. I hope you enjoyed this movie. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Until then, stay with Movie Insight TV.